Hi everybody. You know, this live thing, this YouTube live thing is really funny. I did a couple months back. I thought it was okay, but it's like you can't go back and edit. I guess there's some downfall to it, and whenever your signal drops out, you get a really low. It's like plays on like 380. I'm feeling a little bit down today because the weather here in Florida has been not fun. It's tropical depression in May. I live on the west side of Florida, and so we're getting the eastern. Whoops, I'm going the wrong way. Can't walk that way except in the water. We're out at the Marina Jack today. A lot of very nice sailboats and large yachts. And there's actually somebody in a boat right there. So waking up this morning, of course, I'm watching the weather to see what the weather is thinking. It says it's going to be storming in and out. So let's take a look at what we got out here. We got a lot of clouds pretty much all over. You can pretty much just walk outside and tell that it's going to be one of those rainy days. So yesterday, get ready for yesterday was pretty much raining all day except for short periods. And when it wasn't raining heavy, it was raining very lightly. And it was, oh, look at this. It's almost like a aquarium here. That's pretty cool. Like an indoor aquarium there. Anyway, so because of the weather, it almost seems like it's sunny now. It's not really sunny. The sun's kind of peeking out. But as I was driving here, let's say 15 minutes ago, it was still raining there. It's not raining at this exact second. What I'm trying to say is, I was stuck inside all day yesterday. Jack, a very dull boy. I get really, what do they call that, cabin fever? I get really bad cabin fever when I get stuck at home for long periods of time, man. It just really depresses me. I mean, I can eat up like 5 hours watching TV or reading a book, but when it gets to be like the whole day, and I get this like real like antsy cabin fever. I just gotta get outside. So today, I thought there was like almost no chance I was gonna get outside, and as luck would have it, we're getting a little bit of a break here in the morning, but I know there's gonna be another band of storms coming through. Let's get a nice shot of the outdoors now that we can see. Kind of a 5 mile-an-hour gusting wind, lots of clouds. If it wasn't gonna rain, it would be a beautiful day. I wouldn't be complaining at all if it wasn't gonna rain. But since it is gonna rain, it's majorly depressing. But I'm thankful that I'm out here right now and that I'm having some outdoor time. I'm like a puppy dog, basically. I'm like a little puppy dog that needs to go out and play. And when I'm not outside playing, I get very down and antsy, and anxiety just eats at me. It's like yesterday, man. I felt like I was locked in prison. You know, I'd walk outside when it wasn't raining, and I'd go walk out in the yard and stuff. And I went to the bookstore for a couple hours. While it was raining. Yes, it was raining as I went to the bookstore. When I came home, it was raining. So I've not meant this. This is more like, this isn't an actual complaint. This is more like saying that I'm grateful now that there is a little break in the weather. Monday, it's going to be rainy. Tuesday, it's supposed to be rainy. So for a person like me that's usually being out for 2-3 hours a day, sometimes, you know, longer. This sailboat's like brand new right there. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but that's a really clean looking sailboat. Wow. These are all rental boats, by the way. All these boats right here are for rental times. Anyway, I haven't done a live stream in a while, and today I thought these people are getting out and get some relaxation over there with their doggy. So their dog is happy to be out. It's like having a snowstorm, and the snow finally stops snowing and you can go outside and play for a little while. So I'm very happy. But it makes you really appreciate the day when you can actually go outside. It was rainy Friday too. And Friday I went to the movies and I got caught just before so I'm riding a motorcycle. I ride downtown, I go grab a slice of pizza, and then as I exit the pizza place, it starts downpouring, like a major heavy rain, and I have to walk like 5 blocks, something like that. I'm not exactly sure the exact distance, say maybe 1/8 of a mile to get to the movie theater, and I can't even get there without getting majorly wet. I did have a raincoat, luckily, but my pants were completely soaked, my socks and my shoes. So I went and watched The Avengers Infinity War with completely soaked pants. I tried to go in the bathroom and use the hairdryer to dry out my pants, but so it was pretty cold. Infinity War was pretty good. The ending kind of sucked, but I don't know. I haven't heard a lot of great things about Infinity War. But anyway, I just wanted to get out. That lady just smiled at me. That lady right there. How are you? It's Sunday, by the way. Well, obviously it's live, but if you watch this later, you'll know what day it is. It was Sunday, the day before Memorial Day. Memorial Day, we usually have parades around here, and I may or may not be going to the parade to shoot some stuff. Anyway, it's good to be talking to you guys, because sometimes I do somehow miss the social media outlet. One thing I think that social media, and especially YouTube, does for me is like gives me an outlet just to say whatever I want to say, because nobody's going to tell me to shut up. Like, you know, a friend or your girlfriend or guys that are married and stuff know that sometimes your spouse or person tends you to just say, shh, talking too much, or they just are not in the mood to listen to see what's going on. A lot of folks out today, actually. You know, it's surprising because it literally just stopped just like about 20 minutes ago. If you look here, I got my my rain jacket handy here around my waist. That scared me. That boat just started spewing out water. That was weird. Anyway, I did want to say that I am very grateful for the other 7 days, the last week that we didn't have rain, or whatever it was, 5 days. It makes you really grateful to have sunshine in such abundance. I know there's places around the country. I've traveled to many countries and many cities and states around the United States. How's it going? And also different countries, and seen the different weather, like for instance Denmark, where it's not this great sunny awesome. I do have a life experience of what it's like to be in not a tropical region where it's like sunny and, you know, beautiful weather. Although it's very hot, still we got these great days where we had this just amazing gorgeous weather. And if you've ever been to well, I mean, on the videos you can see it, but if you've ever been to my Instagram, you can see that we have some of the most beautiful beaches and weather. Like Siesta Beach was considered one of the top 100 beaches in the world or whatever by some list, you know, and they have a big sign out there. You know what sometimes I think of when I think of this marina? Look at this classic boat. It's kind of an older boat. It reminds me of like Miami Vice, if you're old enough to remember Miami Vice, where the one guy, Don, what's his name? Like the white dude cop used to live on a boat with an alligator. It reminds me of that a little bit. I don't even remember where that, I guess it was in Miami. Duh. Miami Vice, right? It reminds me of that a little bit. Like this is kind of what it must have been like in that area where they were shooting. I don't know if they shot Miami Vice in Miami, but I'm just saying it was supposed to be in Miami. And reminds me of that marina life where some of these are like houseboats. You can see this one's got an air conditioner in the side of the boat, and some of these people actually live out here. The other thing I've been thinking about a lot lately is people have been mentioning, I can see the pictures getting a little disjointed. That's one thing I don't like about the YouTube live. If you don't have a great signal, you get like a really jerky motion, so I apologize for the bad video. It's kind of one of the things I don't like about YouTube, and now that I'm thinking about it. Or not about YouTube, about YouTube Live, I guess. That's one of the things. We've been getting a lot of rain in the past week, I guess you could say. We'll have these days where it'll just rain like 5 inches, but you can tell a bit by this floating dock over here is like almost to the top. Gives you a little bit of a gauge. There's a lot of puddles also. You can see there's puddles down here. Can you see that? It's kind of invisible. A lot of water. But normally, like between these whatever you call this walkway thing, there would be a couple of feet between the water and that, but now it's getting to where it's like within a foot of the seawall. Let's see if you can see this. So it's actually, the ocean's actually, the tide is higher. You can kind of see a little bit, but normally there's a bell ringing for church. Normally this would be a lot lower, so I think the tides are higher, and I think that's one of the church bells across the way. We'll just pretend to ignore that. Anyway, I'm glad if you're watching, I'm glad you're listening, and sometimes it's good to have, my girlfriend's at work right now, so I'm out trying to get a little bit of a run in. And like I said, sometimes YouTube is a good sounding board for just having a little talk where you can feel like you just get things out of your head. So like I said, some anxiety from being in the house, claustrophobia, cabin fever going on. Feeling really, even though it was like just one day, or 2 days, there's a lot of rain Friday too. I really kind of get those feelings of being imprisoned mentally, I guess you could say, more mentally than physically, because being out running and stuff. Okay, I thought the bell was done. Yeah, being at home all day, I can find stuff to do. My mood just goes sour, kind of. Look at this. See those two birds right there? There's a little bird chasing a big bird. Look at that. It's like a little sparrow chasing a crow. That's so funny. It looks like he had a stick in his mouth or something, but I don't know what it was. It was a worm or something. That's so funny when I see that. We have a lot of crows here and a lot of sparrows. And sometimes you'll see, you know, the crows are about, I don't know how big they are, maybe 10 inches, 12 inches. They're fairly big birds. Then you have these little sparrows that I see chasing them, and the sparrows are small, you know, they're like 5 inches long or whatever. And they'll be chasing these crows around, and I think it's really funny how that is. Wow, another building going up. We've been having a big building boom. If you can see off in the distance, right over there, right there, there's a big crane. And they're putting up a new building. They've been building a lot of buildings. A lot of these buildings you see on the skyline here are fairly new, especially this bluish one over there, the big one with the white squares. That's just got built, just finished building. You can see another crane over there. So there's a lot of stuff been going on lately. Just to give you the high sign. And I always think that's a sign of the economy being better, isn't it? When people are willing to put all their money, invest their money in a big condominium or apartment, whatever you want to call it. And there's like one over there that's newer, and there's another one. It's like you can just, handful of condos going up, and it looks like there's a new one right there going up on Golden Gate Point. It seems like a sign of the times that the economy is good because there is buildings being erected and people are putting millions and millions, you know, I don't know how much a building like that costs, but you have to think it would be in excess of like $20-30 million to build something that big. And then they're speculating that people will fill it up. I don't know why I'm going off on that tangent. I'm just kind of throwing that out there because sometimes I'll look back at these vlogs and I'll wonder what was going on at the time, I guess. And in a way, that's probably for me, future me, to be able to look back on and remember, oh yeah, I remember that time in 2018 when there was like 80 million buildings going up. And then after that, because I remember maybe say around 2005, 2006, the economy was huge in Sarasota. People were selling their houses for, you know, people were offering me like 3 times what my house was worth at the time. and now you look back and it's worth a lot less. That's when the economy kind of took a dive. Sorry, it's getting kind of windy right now. I don't know if that's affecting the live shot. I don't know. I'm having a lot of random thoughts, I think. Sometimes when I drink coffee, or sometimes I take Tylenol with caffeine, it kind of juices the old brain up and it starts going off in different directions. So I apologize if I'm kind of all over the place. But maybe that's entertaining, maybe it's not. Somebody has carved their initials in this tree. I don't think that's good for the tree when you carve your initials, but they still did it anyway. I'm trying to read what this says. That one looks like it says something JS something something, maybe the date in there. And why does the bell ring within 5 minutes of each other? Keeps ringing. It's got to be the loudest bell in Sarasota, probably. I'd have to venture a guess. That's probably the loudest bell in Sarasota. Anyway, the other thing I was thinking about today, I did a couple Instagrams, and I was thinking maybe I'll do a couple Instagrams, but that kind of gets kind of weird when you do, like, Instagram is usually 1 minute per Instagram, so I have to do 1 minute and then do like a part 2 and then a part 3, and I don't know if people really watch that. So I thought, for some reason I felt like talking this morning because, like I said, some anxiety or some cabin fever has gotten me wanting to talk. Look at this view. This is a really pretty one. I take a lot of pictures like this. It's a great view of the bay out here, Sarasota. This is called Island Park, and or they named it somebody's name. I forget what it's called. Bayfront Park, I think it's called. But it's like a little peninsula that comes out in the bay here that I think is man-made. Very pretty. You can kind of come out here and walk your dog and stuff and then just enjoy the bay. A lot of people live on these boats, a lot of these sailboats out here. There's that boat actually coming in right there. Today was forecast for, like, you know, rough seas, high winds, so I don't think a lot of people were planning on going out today. And it's also coinciding with Memorial Day, and that's supposed to have rain, so I'm curious to how it's going to go tomorrow with Memorial Day being a parade and stuff. But somebody in a boat right there. Another look at the sky here. You can see it's just really dense clouds. It's very white. Anyway, if you did join me today, or you're watching, I appreciate you lending me your ear. Sometimes I just like to gab, because like I said, my girlfriend's working, and at home, my cat doesn't like to hear me gab that much. He just kind of like turns his head the other way, and he isn't really big on a big listener. Even though he likes to pet, she knows. She knows what I'm talking about. She probably has a pet, or he does. One of the two of them. I think I'll feel better just from having a little talk, even though it may not make much sense. But maybe this will brighten up your day a little bit if you're kind of sitting home, maybe having a boring weekend or something, or just haven't had, you know, friends are busy and stuff. Sometimes friends and family are busy and you're kind of stuck by yourself. One of the things that really helps me is just to be able to get out and be outside, do some jogging, and have my eye candy. Just something to fill my brain with, some activity. You know, I don't like to go to malls that much, and on a rainy day, you know, you can go to a mall and go shopping, but then I don't really want to spend a lot of money on something I don't need, especially when I've already, you know, I've got plenty of clothes and stuff, and I don't really need anything. I might go to the store later. I know that's very exciting. But anyway, just thought I'd share a little bit of the Florida experience, which you think when you look at, like, if you look at a tourist site or you look at pictures of Florida, you see, of course you see beautiful beaches with beautiful weather, you know, like a blue sky with clouds. This is sort of the other side of the coin when it comes to Florida, is we do have these stormy seasons. I'm not exactly sure, but I know, I think June is roughly the start of the storm season, when we get a lot of these, what we call like these flash thunderstorms, where It will be beautiful outside, and then suddenly, within 5 minutes, there'll be a hard rain come in, and it will just, the wind carries it in so fast. It's like everybody's like, where did that come from? You know, you'll be walking along, and all of a sudden a heavy rain will come and just nail you. I mean, it comes in really fast. So, like I said, I'm really actually thankful for the time period in which I've been able to actually come out and jog. And I think I'm gonna cut this short and just say have a great Sunday, because I want to get back to my car or my motorcycle and get home before it actually starts raining again. You can see the clouds. See, that's the ominous sign of these dark clouds right there. So I'm gonna, before I get caught in a large downpour. Sometimes you can actually see it coming. Hope you guys are having a great Sunday. We'll see you in the next video, which will hopefully be soon. Take care. All right, now I'm going to end this. So you hit the button, and then it like still goes on. It says, "Are you sure you want to stop streaming?" I think I do. So I'll see.